Learning and education are both step-by-step processes, and the footage that I have chosen to be paired with my project embodies that. Please enjoy as I unfold my adult learner profile. Adult learners come in many shapes and sizes, and they bring with them their positive and negative life experiences. They return to the classroom to improve work skills, to change career paths, or for social gain, and some, like Sarah Owen, return for the passion of learning.
My name is Sarah Owen, and I'm a Fredericton-based writer, fiber artist, mom, I'm a homeschooling teacher. I do it all. Oh, I feel like I've been in school forever. I did a Bachelor of Arts with a major in English and Anthropology at the University of PEI. I did 3 years graduate school in anthropology. Stopped going to school for a little while. Had children, took dance lessons, took photography lessons, started going to studio classes at the College of Craft and Design, where I took wet-face weaving, felting and dyeing, advanced felting, and now I'm back again taking a color study class. I think that learning is important at all phases in your life. I have a passion for learning new things. One of the joys of being a writer is the amount of research that I get to do. And I found that if I could take a class in something and learn about it, then I could keep with it, or I didn't have to. I'm taking violin lessons as well. I love violin. I'd like to take the cello. As I've done that, I've stopped doing as much photography, but I know I can go back to it. Once you get the basic skills, you can incorporate it into your life, and everything comes and goes with waves. Then every once in a while you take something that becomes a mad passion, like weaving has clearly become something that is always going to be a part of my life. I learn best by experiencing something, which was a bit of a problem in my undergraduate degree. You don't get to learn Shakespeare by, well, I suppose you could act it out, but this is much easier to learn. Playing with string is so easy to learn because it just makes sense. It's elegant, and it's a language like math is a language. I am having some issues in my color theory class because it's really stretching me and pushing me out of my comfort zone. I'm not a drawer, and you gotta do some drawing. Thank goodness for rulers when you're doing your color wheels. But I absolutely learn best by doing. Whether you're a kid or you're a mature student, just being able to get your hands dirty and get into things is a really wonderful way to learn. It's been interesting with the challenges of various phases of my life, because when I was doing my bachelor's degree and in graduate school, I was age appropriate, so everything was about school. Sometimes I had a part-time job, sometimes I didn't. I managed to avoid student loans for a long time, but everything was focused on school. That was my job. And then I started taking the hobby classes like dancing and violin and photography, and it really didn't affect my life too much. But when I started taking day classes, when my children were probably tweens, they were between 10 and 14 at that stage. They're 14 and 16 now. And it really did have an effect. You wouldn't think that it would if it's just one day a week. So all of a sudden, my 3-hour class has restructured my week in ways that my family has had to adapt to. The expense of going to school, I mean, it's an expense. You don't get to go to school if you can't afford to go to school. But I've absolutely had to adjust the budget, because there's always art supplies, and there's always going into endeavors because I might need something. And it's affected my family life in that there's a lot of time where my daughter and I are doing our homework together, which is fun. And I wouldn't trade it for anything because we're doing things together. But it's been a little bit of a sacrifice to getting other things done, like, you know, the dishes.
Yeah.
When we're looking at the way that adults learn and the way children learn, I found some interesting things. I've spoken to other mature students, and we all seem to agree that it takes a little bit longer for us to absorb facts. The application of facts seems fine, but we have to go over things 2 or 3 times before we get the whole picture nicely in. And watching my son learn, he reads things over and he's either going to retain it or he's not going to. But coming at it as a mature student, my organizational and time management skills are way better. I've been able to prioritize, and I can look at assignments and say, okay, this one is worth 30% of my grade, that's where I'm going to spend the bulk of my time. Whereas something that's worth 10 marks, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it to the best that I can right there, but I'm not going to spend 4 hours on it. Whereas before I was kind of an all or nothing student, and I think that life skills you learn very quickly how to balance things appropriately. I think that experiencing life counts as learning. I think that there's learning that you do to get grades, but there's talking to people on the street and listening to their experiences is perhaps even more valuable. It depends what you're going to do with any given fact in your life, whether it's for your job or if it's for your family or if it's for becoming a better person. Knowledge is never wasted. I didn't finish my graduate degree. I spent 3 years studying anthropology and doing field work in Australia about a tribe which is now maybe only have about 3 or 4 members, but that is not wasted time at all. But aside from the knowledge that I gained on the fact-based stuff, the things that I read, the things that I wrote, I also learned what it looks like when they smile. I've been to Australia and I've experienced things that as an East Coast Canada kid I would never have been able to do if I hadn't have gone. And it's a valuable 3 years. Plus, it teaches you to get the papers done when the papers are due. It's a very important life skill.
I realized that I chose Sarah because she and I are very much the same. Her responses to the questions vocalized the way that I feel as a learner, and listening to her speak gave me clarity of my personal understandings of adult learning. Now that I have a strong grip on my beliefs, I can open my eyes and explore and appreciate the other types of learners and learning styles around me. Sarah Owen is a lucky learner. She has found a thirst for knowledge, and she builds on her education for the love of learning new things. She has a supportive family, a flexible career, and she is fueled by change. Her main barriers are time and money, but adults can have many more obstacles that hold them back from returning to school, like lack of self-confidence, transportation issues, and fear of failure. Sarah prescribes school as a way to better herself and push herself forward in her career. Since she is fairly self-employed, these milestones will not move her up the promotional ladder, but she holds a great deal of importance on knowledge in her life nonetheless. She acknowledges that her adult experiences have taught her to organize her time and her thoughts, and she believes that everyone learns differently. This is one of the reasons she has decided to homeschool her 15-year-old son. He has learning disabilities, and the way that he learns best are not being taken into account in the public school system. Sarah knows that school can be difficult, and it is not just about finding what you are good at in life. It is about the journey of discovering how you learn best. Thank you.